soon.
Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? It's Idamo's High, and you rocking with oh shit, nigga, I'm the most, nigga, I'm the most high, and you GD Bang, you feel me? We had
Yeah,
this
yeah,
slide on the joint, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. And we are the Underground and Professional Wrestling Podcast. Thank you for joining us here for our review on the week that was professional wrestling. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, bro. It's been a lot. It's been a lot that we kind of haven't tackled. A
Yep.
lot that we got to get to. So let's just jump right into it, man. But yeah, before we do that, real quick, check us out on RW Podcast on Twitter. Real Wrestling Podcast here on YouTube, everywhere else. If you're a podcast or podcast at SoundCloud, Stitcher. I mean, Stitcher's not, I think Stitcher's down now, but iTunes, all that stuff, wherever your podcasts are podcasted. And check us out on IG and Facebook as well. But yeah, man, last night, Wrestle Dream, bro.
Yeah.
Wrestle Dream, man. I got us handed to AEW, man. They've had some really successful shows past couple months.
Yes.
This was another one. I got to hand it to them because it's getting buzz, and that's how the thing. Like that's the thing with AEW. Like I want more of their storylines to get buzz, but when they get a storyline that gets buzz, conjunction with a match that gets buzz, in conjunction with like a debut that gets buzz, it brings the full picture for me. You know, they've had a couple of shows like that where have really stuck out for me like that, and this is one of them because let's just kick it off right now. On this day, Mr. Adam Edge Copeland, the rated R
Yes.
superstar, is officially all elite. Huge signing, and the past week has been an interesting week in free agency. It's been an interesting week in people gaining jobs and moving positions and losing jobs even. So we haven't talked about much of that. Let's get into it. Yesterday we got Adam Copeland to AEW. Last week we got Jay Cargill to WWE. Previous week everybody lost their job that was not being used. That was in catering. You know, so let's talk about it.
Yo, I think
Let me talk to you.
let me talk to you. I think we need to start first and foremost as if this is your first encounter with Reasonable Wrestling or multiple encounters, we try to be a little nuanced as we bring a little razzle dazzle to the talk. We're sports fans. Everybody that we know and probably around sports fans, you're really irrational when you go to sports, right? Wrestling
Yep.
wrestling fans, that's their sport, right? So we have a ton of irrational.
Last week, Jets fan had pitchforks for Zach Wilson. Today, it's like, yeah, not too bad.
So I want to say first and foremost, as a rational wrestling fan, I think free agency is dope. I think
Absolutely.
it's completely. It's not even. It's as a fan to have viable options to where we go. And granted, there's been viable in TNA, Impact, MLW, ROH, New Japan, CMLL, DDT, Stardom, right? You have your array of things that you can go to. Stateside, it was one dog. You know what I'm saying? WWE was that dog. Everybody know. And I watched the media scrum with Jericho and Kenny Omega, and one of the questions was like, hey, a couple years ago, you guys took a leap of faith, and now to see Adam Copeland take, you laid the groundwork and the foundation, and their whole thing, Tony and the EVPs and all the wrestlers and all the boys and their whole thing was like, man, we got something that we can bring forth to the table. You know what I'm saying? And when we have a whole bunch of untapped potential who have been to the main show, the big show, and everything like that, It creates an intrigue, an interest, and again, like Adam said in his presser, it's people he hasn't been in a ring with in 37 years of him or 27 years of him being in the business, right?
Mhm.
Like you like, and again, sports wise, right? We talk about sports.
Yeah.
There's not a unless you played in a completely different era, right?
Yeah.
In 37 years of your profession, you cross paths with niggas. That nigga said he never stood in a ring with Sting before, bro. Right? Never stood in a ring with Sting. Sting was there. He wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Samoa Joe, when Samoa was there, he wasn't there. Like, we're talking about like people that's still going and showing that he hasn't saw in 27, 37 years. That brings a whole nother intrigue to wrestling. That brings a whole nother perspective and ideology and storyline and everything like that. And again, the reason that AEW is a success is because they're a success. And I'll say it slow one more time, right? The reason why AEW is a success is because they are a success. Once they found a pocket that was successful, that's all they ever fucking needed.
Yeah, that's all they needed to do, which was originally my argument when they arrived. You know, I was pitching out, listen, this is good for wrestling. They need to be existing, so there's an option outside of WWE. I was on the side of AEW, and a lot of times I was like, you know, waving their flag because it was so exciting to see wrestling that was outside of the. I do feel like they pushed the envelope with the WWE. I do. So I genuinely like just to see it come to fruition with like Edge. What a couple years ago he was retired. To see him now not only come back to WWE, then now like, you know, for 49 years old, I'm gonna lace up my boots and go to All Elite Wrestling. Because you got to understand if the WWE say, hey man, Adam, we don't have anything for you anymore. We are kind of like, you know, working on our younger new talent, and we want to push new talent. We kind of don't got a role for you on this offense, or what, you know, you got to just sit down now or go to TNA. Back in the day, that would be the choice. And sorry, no offense to TNA, but I don't think they're getting the advertising dollars and have the backing of TBS, a national.
That is correct.
You know,
I'm sorry. I know I don't want to derail you, but I do want to say this one time down. I do want the rebrand and the recommitment to the brand that Impact and TNA has done so far.
And I'm going to get to them in a moment because they are doing their thing too. Because I don't mean to diss them. That's why I mentioned that. I don't mean to diss. It's not a knock on TNA, but it's a matter of having that cachet to get a Adam Copeland, Edge, who's a Hall of Famer, and pay him a decent salary to come to your nationally televised television show. I think that AEW has that buzz, it has that interest, it has that eyes. Having sold out Wembley, you know, so to speak, a couple 2 months ago now, I think people know that they're the real deal. You know, I think people have been known they're the real deal. They're a viable option if you're a wrestling fan or to watch wrestling. They're a viable option if you're a wrestler or a talent to get a position and still be relevant in this industry. And I think that's what people seek, is like they seek that relevancy, you know. And when you can leave WWE after, you know, facing Sheamus a couple weeks ago in your last match, and then a couple weeks later get a huge pop and ovation in Seattle, you know, and be in the ring with Sting, like you said, as somebody you've never been in the ring with, and, you know, join your, you know, your childhood friend, you know, and you're 49 years old. Like, honestly, Wrestle Dream, watching the show and listening to the press conferences, I was really.
It was all a dream.
It was genuinely inspiring. I'm not going to front. Like, everything I saw with Edge and what he said, like you just mentioned, Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, but how they started it, that dream of coming here and taking that leap.
But that's what wrestling is.
Exactly.
Jay's dream is like, this was always the plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, as everybody makes a big woof about what it is that she does, like she said, this was always the plan. Like, people got to remember, Jay had a WWE tryout before there was an AEW, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And she went and worked her indies. Her indies happened to be a nationally televised show, and she went and got that was her dream, right? Her dream was to be a megastar, right? The only place that you can be the only place that you can be a megastar, WWE.
Yeah. Listen, yeah, like people want to say what's the bigger signing. I think they're both huge to both companies. I think Jade and Adam Edge going to AEW. I think it's a trade that's like almost equal. It's an equal trade.
It's literally what in basketball the Bucks traded Damian Lillard because for Drew Holiday, and then the Celtics like, well, I'm gonna trade Malcolm Brogdon for Drew Holiday, and guess what? The Bucks is gonna have to see Drew Holiday.
Of course, yeah.
Again, Adam's gonna have to be. He's on TNT. Jade's on TV. It's not a thing where you can't avoid them.
Jade, come on, she's like 31, man, and she has like the full package. She's almost as much as a guarantee of a blue chipper first round draft pick that you can actually be to be a success in WWE. Meanwhile, WWE's Edge has done everything he can do in WWE. He is a huge asset as a veteran mindset to how you approach wrestling, and he can provide that mindset to AEW. So what Jade couldn't provide AEW, Adam can, and what Adam can't, which is youth, provide to WWE, Jade can. And it's like, that's why I look at it like it's just such a win-win for wrestling altogether. Like fans, the wrestlers themselves, the business. It's an exciting time, and not to mention, like a couple weeks ago, we're getting Rock coming back for our show. John Cena's doing real SmackDown every week. Now, it's really cool to see where we're at, and we're kind of spoiled. I'm gonna be we're kind of spoiled because there's so much wrestling.
Which is why I say wrestling fans, sports fans, right? Sports fans don't necessarily see how spoiled they are all the time. You know what I'm saying? Miami Heat fans. Oh, we didn't get Damian Lillard. I get you. You can't get everybody can't come to South Beach, my nigga. Well,
Jimmy Butler, man, if you see him, his emo look, man, the dude's he's going through it, dog. So, so
what I'm gonna say about Jimmy, which I think Jimmy will be a great wrestler as well. Yeah, I've been having
he's a showman for sure.
I've been having this nigga in my lap for like the past 7 minutes. Nigga, I got tired of getting that with these niggas. What I'll say with Jimmy's the guy that beats to his own drum, right?
Yeah.
And I essentially, we was talking before the pod. Creatively, I'm not gonna, tarnish our good fella Bray, right? But when we talk about in the elk of that, right? Marching to the beat of your own drum, being what it is authentically to you, right? My nigga Jimmy Butler, emo, he listened to Nickelback, but he will call your ass a bitch ass nigga while he busting your ass, giving you 50. You feel me? So that's I don't know what the beat of that drum is.
Listen, man, he can do whatever you want if you got the talent, bro. Honestly. But for real though, it's a special time in wrestling. It's exciting when you can have both companies make a big splash and say, okay, spark an interest in their fan base. So more about Wrestle Dream. I want to talk about how it was inspiring to me to even see Swerve get that big victory over Hangman Page. He said he wanted his spot. Yeah, I think this program that he had with Hangman has been probably the best storyline that I saw going into this show. And I attest that really to the man himself, Swerve. He has this gimmick, or whether it's just himself or whatever it may be, he has his promo capability. He's gotten so much better in the ring, on the mic, to establish this match, because it was really based off of his promos. And then he pretty much laid out the whole plan on a press conference afterwards, saying that he set a trap and he walked right into it and he got this big victory. This victory over Hangman Page makes Swerve a legitimate upper Carter or main eventer, so to speak, right now. You know, so I was excited for him.
Well, I would say we've always been biased, right? First and foremost, Shane is a dope person. Um, you know, everybody is everywhere to every, you know what I'm saying? But he's real solid. You know what I'm saying? Whenever uh, we come across each other, and um, I've been a huge supporter of him. Uh, I got footage in my actually no lie, it just came up on my phone. You know what I'm saying? Google Memories and shit like that of
MLW.
MLW and doing backstage promos and segments, and like Swerve was always going to be a star. And this goes back to
Yeah.
like timing, placement, and your creative idea for yourself, right? Adam Copeland used freedom, which a lot of people are like, oh, freedom. Yes, nigga. There's not a lot of freedom in WWE. We know this, right? Like we understand this. You know what I'm saying? Whose house? Swerve's house. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I would say this: we saw a tinge of what this Swerve was going to be with Hit Row and NXT, not main route, right? The beginnings of it. Now, when you said gimmick and is this him, that's what makes it a great character. Because as everybody tells the story, it's when it's you dialed the fuck up, right?
That fuck up. Yeah.
Swerve is dialed not only up, but he dialed in, right?
Yeah, he
put on
dialed in.
muscle. He looks the
muscle for
part.
sure.
He's a little bit again. Tony's giving him it's the Lamar Jackson effect, right? We give you weapons. We gave you a new OC. We give you a new clean slate. Create, make mistakes, make plays, do you. You see what I'm saying? And he's again.
No, he's hitting his a place pocket, right stride right now. And
stride.
And this was a marquee victory for him, you know, and everything that he stands for. And, you know, we fuck with it, you know, and I fuck with the fact that he works so hard. You know, we've always seen from where he was in MLW, immediately just I remember seeing the first time I was able to see him walking in, him and Matt Riddle going back to back, like going crazy. We knew then this guy, you know, was a star, working on his, you know, packages on, you know, Adobe and all that stuff. And, you know, him evolving over that time till now, this is a different man though. Like as much as we saw the talent there, this is a full-fledged package of Swerve, Strickland, Shane Strickland. You know, I think that legitimately, we've always said he was one of the great wrestlers, so slick in the ring. But what I like about this the most is that the character work is top level tier shit right now. Like the promo work he's done, the character work, the gimmick, the image. I believe that it's not a gimmick, it's more of a character work, I would say. I think that he embodies it. He believes it. He's committed to it. And it comes off as authentic. And that's the key. When people give out promos, having that little seed of truth to it can make it feel that much more you know, palatable and connected for yourself as a performer and for the audience, you know. So the whole story with him and Hangman Page, real quick, has been about him taking the next level, the next step up. So I think that alone we can see like he wants that, you know, he wants that spot in reality and in the story.
That's what I was just about to say. That's what I was gonna I'm gonna let you land, but that's what I was gonna say. It's not is this is the duality of art. You feel me? Because as authentic, it's authentic, motherfucker. I need the spot, dude. You feel me? Like you all these niggas is coming in. You feel me? Like, I know what I got paid. I heard what Max got paid. I know what Adam Copeland's getting paid. I know what Adam Cole got paid. I know what Keith Lee. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I gotta shirty. I gotta get my song out. I gotta stream my song. I gotta get this merch sold. I gotta get in the ring. I gotta hit these towns. Niggas gotta know who house it is. You feel me? That's authentic as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's that in Broadway. This play has to be the most successful play. But me,
You gotta be the most successful star.
they don't give the fuck. Listen, hey, they give the award to the show.
They give it to the main character. The main character, you know.
I need that
the headliner.
Performance.
What I like about it is that you can sense the chip on the shoulder. You know, we've kind of always seen that he works off of that. You know, and some guys feed off of the chip on the shoulder to get there to the next level. Since NXT.
Well, I'm sorry. I will say this one. I'm sorry. I will say this to Swerve. To what you was gonna say. In true evolution ain't a mystery. It is hard work, right?
Hard work, exactly.
The true evolution of an artist, as far as music goes, right? He's a music artist. In chasing that Grammy, a lot of people don't get that Grammy until they evolve as an artist and make that magnum opus that they've been kind of, conforming with the little old people know your names or the big single on the radio hit. When you make that project that is world renowned, that is then now Academy acclaimed, and then now is Grammy nominated, and then now is Grammy won, like that is what we're seeing with the character Swerve right now, right? Yeah. Where the artistry and what he's trying to create right now, the Mogul Embassy and Swerve when I'm driving, the dance and the shot at fucking Hangman and everything like that. He's creating his fucking magnum opus to where that Grammy, as he speaks it, right? When he holds up that title, bro, when he holds up that title.
That's his Grammy. There's, it's kind of like we understand the story behind his motivations. And that's one thing for me, I always like to hear from a wrestler, their motivations and what they want and why they want it. It's not just I want to beat Hangman Page, it's why I want to beat Hangman Page. What does it represent to me? And he tapped into every single piece of that on the road to this match. So to me, that was story-wise, that was the biggest match for me on the card. To see him in his hometown, look like a freaking monster superstar there. They were cheering for him. It was legitimately Swerve's house. And to see him get that reaction now, we'll see where he goes. Because honestly, this is going to be interesting to see his evolution continue. Because he got that big victory, marquee shot. But as far as big match, as dream match, I was looking forward to Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. being technical, savants themselves. And I gotta say, the match was awesome, man. I genuinely don't think I've seen a match like that in a while, where it felt like it wasn't how do I say this? It doesn't feel to me, they might have been doing it, but it doesn't feel like they were calling spots. They were legitimately trying to out wrestle each other and then also improvise to make it a wrestling match. It felt like, so it felt like there were moments where they were legitimately surprising each other with the next hold they were going to do. They weren't like saying, I'm going to do this hold and you do that. No, they were legitimately like, all right, let me get this hold in. And he thinks I'm going to do this. No, I'm going to do this. And it felt organic. So I want to, I think Bryan Danielson legitimately might be the best wrestler of all time. And not only because of this performance, but all the performances he's had over the course of his career. He can do it with anybody, and he can change his style up for anything. And this match, he adds, because Zack Sabre Jr. is supremely talented as far as his technical prowess. He did some cool ass shit in that match that I didn't think was possible, like the way he got in and out of holds and whatnot. But I think Bryan Danielson adds a little bit more emotion. he has a little bit more of, you want to call it sports entertainment stuff, but or like, a little bit moves, or whatever, that little bit of touch that you add from your history in the past. And he didn't keep it strictly technical, but it was legitimately a technical match. So it was very different. I haven't seen a match like that in a minute. It was refreshing, put it that way. It was very refreshing to see that type of match come to fruition. And honestly, it didn't disappoint at all. I really enjoyed that.
I think what you were looking for and what we got was, in all forms of it, a true shooters match, right? I'm a huge Headless Horseman fan. I'm a huge Dean Malenko fan as far as what they contributed. The Malenko family in particular down here in Florida, the Tampa area, Central Florida, kind of legitimate shooters, right? And for wrestling fans, nerds, right? Kurt Angle, shoot fighter, right? Olympic gold medalist. Chad Gable, shoot fighter. Brock Lesnar, shoot fighter. Shelton Benjamin, shoot fighter. Matt Riddle, shoot fighter, right? We're talking about legitimate shoot, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, you know what I'm saying? Different type of mixed martial art. And Shawn Michaels, Catch Point, not Catch Point, Catch Can, right? Catch Can, right? Right, and
that's a different style though. Like what Zach and Brian Dance were doing, I even think that's a little bit different than shoot wrestling.
It was like a combination of it was a gumbo of it all, right? And when you say they weren't calling spots, I do believe it was a conversation, not calling spots, but it was a conversation probably before the match or the night before, where it was like, hey, what do you want to do? And they gonna say, we can Macho Man it, right? Macho Man is to the T, dial it up, or they can say we call in the ring, right? They just probably wanted to know the finish, and also what can't we do, right? Because again, Daniel really his arm and shake and for his hands, and like, come on, my nigga, you got
there was like ill chain wrestling that I was going on, transitions that I didn't think that were creative in ways that I didn't think that they were going to go that route. Like where you think that somebody would get a hold and they'll flip it into something else real quick, something to another, or reverse it, and then somebody will get finally a submission in, or somebody will get a strike in, it was unpredictable.
It was a less choreographed, more fluid, smaller size version of Josh Barnett, Claudio Castagnoli. I watched that match on just because I wanted to see that stylistically, right? Both of those guys are hard hitting. Again, trained in multiple different varieties of mixed martial arts and wrestling, professional wrestling. They were filling each other out. You can kind of see it was little, but they were really filling each other out. They had different moments within the match where you can see the not the choreography, but the collaboration between the two. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I can't just dead weight your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta give you a boost on the suplex. I gotta give, you know what I'm saying? Like, so with that being said, that match set the palette. And with the overall arching style of the pay-per-view, where it was going to be as close to strong style without absolutely going full-born Japanese wrestling, right? And it was a smorgasbord.
That's what Claudio and Josh had?
No, of Zack Sabre and Daniel Bryan. I'm saying like it was a smorgasbord of mixing strong style wrestling, British strong style wrestling, shoot, catch can, right? Professional, right? It was still artistically tasteful as it was free-handed.
It was definitely a work of art.
It was definitely a work of art. It was a free-handed painting that you frame. And who cares that it's out of nigga, he free-handed it. You know what I'm
it
saying?
was ill. It was ill,
You know,
man.
like that's what I can say. Like
You know,
I never see how niggas freehand tattoos, right? But when you making it's permanent, right? That match,
Yeah.
when we go out there and do whatever it is we do, is that's a freehand tattoo. That's as close to a
Yeah.
freehand tattoo as you can get. You know what I'm saying?
It's live TV. Live TV. We go out there, whatever we go out there for perform for the fans. That's what it is. That's our artwork.
Yep.
And they honestly did the damn thing. So shout out to them. Really dope shit. Zack Sabre Jr. is still one of the greatest technical wrestlers I've ever seen, if not the greatest, because he has some real bendy, different shit that I don't even know how he gets to do that shit.
He be when they say joint manipulation, we need to find out another word for manipulation.
Yeah,
he be making niggas be reconsidered. You know,
and it looked like it felt like these niggas were trying to hurt each other. I mean, even if it's wrestling, it felt like when you watch it, these niggas were trying to hurt each other. So want to give them a shout out, and I'm gonna blitz through the next 30 minutes because I gotta go, but I'm gonna go on to NXT because there were not only great matches in Wrestle Dream, but before I leave Wrestle Dream, shout out to Eddie Kingston and Shibata, another strong style match that performed. Honestly, I gotta give can't be remiss to mention that Ricky Starks also and Yuta did a great job as well. But NXT, man, shit, Ela.
This goes back. I'm sorry, I was just about to say this feeds the trend of wrestling in general. What stylistically are we going for with our show?
Mm-hmm.
Kenny said in the presser, we want a variety show. And if everybody can go home happy with something, we did our job. Boom. NXT, we are building a ground up attitude era. Period. Ground up attitude era. These kids don't even know what they doing. These kids don't even know what they doing.
Got a little TNA, a little fucking, violence,
a whole lot of violence.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Spears through brick walls, through barricades, freaking tables, spots, all this up, and then really fantastic wrestling. Carmelo and Ilja Dragunov, man, that match was awesome, man. Honestly, one of the best matches of the year, if I dare say. I was hooked, bro. It was late. It kept me up, that match, and I'm like, yo, we still got time on this in this card. Who's gonna follow? Like, I'll have to ask you, like, is Becky and Tiffany gonna follow this?
Absolutely.
And I'm like, okay, how the hell are they gonna follow? They did their thing too, but I gotta shout out Carmelo and Ilja Dragunov. That match was all fire. Please go check it out. Like, just those two got real chemistry, bro. And honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing the match again. Like, maybe not right away, but like, I do think that those two could do this for years to come. Like that kind of thing.
I don't want to shit and rain on your parade, and we don't have to stay here because I know I've been seeing that talk. I want them niggas.
Is that what people are saying though?
Yes, that's the everybody.
Because I don't know. I'm just saying from the top of my head.
No, for sure. I know, but that's why I said let me pause you because I know you ain't following. So, as you know, you my voice of the people. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say
because I don't talk to no people about this.
Let me pump the people's brakes. You know what I'm saying?
All right, go for it.
Nah, Carmelo and Ilja have undeniable chemistry. And I would love them to go for a rubber match.
Oh.
2 out of 3, Stairway to Hell, whatever kind of, you know what I'm saying?
What? Halloween's right around the corner. And when they Havoc.
And when they do that, separate.
Yeah, right after
you don't see that until main roster.
Halloween Havoc, 3 Stages of Hell, Carmelo, Ilja Dragunov 3. I'm fucking there, bro. Come on, you want to go Attitude Era? Give us 3 Stages of Hell. We haven't seen that in a million years. Please.
3 Stages of Hell.
3 Stages of Hell.
Carmelo.
Why you keep calling him Elios? It's not Elios Dragunov. Ilja. Elio.
Elio, man. You know, black people put an S on everything. They'll pronounce
Ela,
shit right,
Ela Dragunov. But yeah, definitely, I'm booking that right now. Shit, booking Black Carmelo.
It is an A at that shit, and I'm saying Elio, but you know, I'm taking Spanish, so you know, O is from my hermanos. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you know, I'm, you know, if I call him Edie, yeah, you know, I'm like,
Ja.
yeah, yeah. I'm like,
Yo.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm down for a 3 stages of hell match. Halloween Havoc, they promote that. And yo, Carmelo, Ela, you know, I would love to see that. You know, just like you said, a rubber match. I think they got some more legs in that. The only reason why I said is I don't know. You know, because I don't know if they're calling him up. Like I don't know if they were planning something for him. But hey, if he's still there, and
Well, I would say, and that's what I was just about to say. You know, when we talk about the stages of wrestling and where they're at specifically, when you say Jade is going here and Adam is going here, and we don't know what Carmelo and Elia is doing. I mean, I be hearing the nigga say Elia. Oh, anyway, you know what I'm saying? Carmelo definitely be calling that nigga Elia in the promos, my nigga. I'm following his lead. You feel me? Anyway, you see the kind of direction in the when you look at sports again, right? Sometimes we see copycat leagues. I'm sorry, we hear the term copycat league because there's a lot of parity in how people build teams or how people want to play and how play. If you're noticing now, not just with entertainment and with our wrestling shows and with our variety pack, with teams as well, team construction, how niggas want to get down is identified to how we want to get down. You know what I'm saying? It's not really predicated on what anybody else is doing.
Yeah, you're running your own game plan.
Yeah, and then sports. If I need this nigga, I'm gonna go
plug him into my system.
You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about Jade plug and play, yes, Jade is gonna get plugged and plopped right into being the main star because hey, listen, as big as a star she is, she needs to be around. AEW is not gonna give her a Charlotte.
I mean, they had her for 2 years and they made her what she was, but like, come on,
that's what I'm saying.
The ceiling is so fucking high,
bro.
That higher than what they did.
McCaffrey to the Niners.
Yo, exactly. God damn, dude, looking like an MVP dog. But Jay could be that, like, legitimately. Jay can be
because listen,
she has an aura about her, and it's undeniable.
And even and again, when the system is right around you, you look good. So it ain't even about Jay being Christian McCaffrey, my nigga. Let's just say this, nigga. She's Raheem Mostert, right? Not no disrespect. When you in the system and everything around you is good, yeah. Throw me up 250.
I don't like people prey on her downfall. Like, and I don't know why they can't see it the way I see it, or like this. There's no way, especially with the way that ESPN just dropped, like, you know, the signing. She's did an interview there. She's doing her press run. This is a huge signing for WWE, and they're treating it as such. Trust me, at WrestleMania, it's gonna be like Charlotte versus Jade Cargill or Bianca versus Jade Cargill, and it's gonna be probably the biggest women's match on the card because they look at her as that marquee of a star. They're positioning her as like the same way they position Cody. Like, hey, listen, we want to put you right there in the main event. You know. 1 second, I got a call coming in. Oh, just gonna 2 seconds.
Go ahead. What I will say, just to kind of, what I will say to kind of put a little bow on. Let me take I'm moving the mouse that's not connected again to my my thing. I'm gonna tell y'all first and foremost, man. I got the kids. And my wife gone. You know what I'm saying? Out of town for a day trip or work trip. So right now I'm taking care of the kids and watching wrestling and recording a podcast. And I want to say I love it. It is amazing. And I've been just catching up on shit. and watching wrestling and playing 2K and playing Madden, and all I can see is that a lot of people are not happy. I don't know why. Adam Copeland leaves WWE. Jade Cargill leaves AEW. But we have not talked about some of the good and great things that has happened when people leave and go other places and get a fresh start. Trinity, the aforementioned Impact, TNA, rebrand, rebirth, or whatever they got going on, has been centered around their latest acquisition, newest acquisition, Trinity, formerly known as Naomi, who was in a very unadvantageous spot in WWE. Again, a WWE lifer, a WWE kind of like Cody, right? Where they grow up in this system. This is all they know. This is all they grew up with. They met their spouses here. They met their right. This is what it is until it ain't. And depending on how a person leaves or depending on what the terminology is, like she left, I believe, on her own volition. She was given no alternative to feel the way she felt, as if the business and the company felt like they maxed out or wasn't going to invest more to max out what it is that she's doing right now. And an Impact, she's knocking it out. She's one of the reasons why I go. And the reason why I'm there is to see her versus Deonna Purrazzo. No disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Or to see her versus Mickie James. Trinity versus Mickie James is a match that is going to be on par as Jade versus Charlotte, right? It's going to be on par as Saraya versus Mercedes Moné, or Britt Baker versus Mercedes Moné. Or like, you have to understand the ability to be happy in this stage as a wrestling fan is wide open because nobody wants to be it, right? Everybody wants to be a contrarian. Everybody wants to throw a little bit of, everybody has a take on everything, right? But I think more often than not, some of your opinions need to just stay to yourself, because they're kind of ancillary. They're antiquated. You know what I'm saying? They're more oftentimes anonymous, right? Because you guys hype up. Put your face on it. You know what I'm saying? And those who are standing on what they say and putting their face on it on YouTube and everything like that. And listen, I just want to have the conversation as what is it that will make you happy? Because you can find it in wrestling. It's there. Everybody's not going to be able to give you what you want, right? We go to specific places to get specific meals because we have a specific palate for that, right? And again, I'm not trying to be preachy. I'm not trying to overstand my welcome here or overstay my welcome here with this topic. It's just that, between NXT's growth, right, with their youth, with Ilya, Carmelo, congratulations to Trick Williams, Roxanne Perez, Blair Davenport, Tiffany Stratton, who gets a tremendous rub and had a tremendous best match of the weekend match with Becky Lynch, who's having a tremendous run right now. There isn't a lot of veteran leadership that's kind of like steering the ship in NXT. They're a very young, youth-led team that is doing really good stuff. SmackDown, like we say, John Cena's back. You know what I'm saying? You want that little feel? You want that special feel? John Cena there. You want to know why Roman ain't there? Well, shit, brother. I told y'all niggas. Once we found out he had another set of twins, brother, my nigga with them kids, nigga, I'm trying to tell you. I'll defend them titles and I hit the towns and I'll be with the boys and shit like that when I can. My wife told me I gotta change these diapers, nigga. We gotta take family trips. We gotta take family pictures. We gotta go on this vacation. Roman ain't there on SmackDown. It is what it is. But y'all niggas said that y'all was tired of the bloodline storyline anyway. So as it isn't at its peak right now, what is it that you liked on SmackDown that isn't getting attention? Because I think right now, LA Knight is that. Again, with the aforementioned John Cena there as his rubbing partner, right? Seth over on SmackDown with Shinsuke. Shinsuke doing his absolute best shit under this umbrella, bro. Yeah, it took whatever it took, but my thing is if you like it, you like it. And if you like it, then stick with it and ride it out. I'm personally excited about Nia Jax being back. I'm personally excited about Nia and Rhea getting it in. Slapping meat. You know, I'm the shit. Y'all talk about big meaty men. I'm strictly, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see big meaty women bumping me. You feel? So Nia and Rhea, definitely on my to-do list. You feel me? I don't know how you don't like that, right? You want to say Nia hurts everybody? And Rhea being out is a case of that. Do you know she hurt her? And if you do know, okay. Hey, that means when they get in the ring, it's a little extra physicality that I like to see. Right? You gotta find your wins. Me, I'm an optimist. You know what I'm saying? I'm the ultimate optimistic. Whatever. I was trying to make a joke. You know, I told y'all, man. Listen. Wrestling right now is predictable, yet unpredictable, and it's at a time where we can consciously and I don't understand why there isn't a need for rationalization. We're in a time and stage in life and wherever where you have to be rational on what it is. And I think we're in a really great space where you just have to be. I think it's very it will be behoove of you to be rational in your enjoyment, right? I love the space that wrestling is in, and I would like for people to do the same. I can't hear you.
Yeah. You know, it's hard to critique it right now because it's been so good. You know, we have our taste, like, you know, what Kenny was saying, you want to do variety show. I want to get what I want from wrestling, but I like storylines. I think that's what I like, you know, and I like real wrestling. You know, I like technical wrestling. I like Bret Hart, you know, all that stuff, Chris Benoit. So one thing I would say, on piggybacking what Chris was saying, is as a wrestling fan, your duty is to know what you like, and then a la carte that shit. I'm telling you the facts. When AEW starts doing things I don't like, I just don't watch. When WWE starts things I don't like, I just don't watch. And when they are genuinely piquing my interest, I tap in. I'm not a Fairweather fan. I've been a fan since I was pretty much born. This is going on 30 plus years that I've been a wrestling fan. I will always be a wrestling fan. But I think that sometimes people get lost into wanting what they want when they want it and not waiting to see what happens, and that's including me. I get really, really obsessed with like, hey, damn, what I expected did not happen. But yeah, a la carte that bitch. When you want something, take what you can get. And I'm just going to try to take that approach. But granted, same time, when I see something goofy as shit, I'm going to mention it from my perspective.
I would say that, and the reason why I was saying that in this is because I think the irrationalization of how we like, and this is the nuanced conversation. Now we won't get too deep, but me and you know, if you're irrational about where you think you should be at in your expectations and what your expectations is, you get those voice notes and those phone calls all the time from me, and you're like, brother, relax. Like, these are all right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these are okay, nigga. Like, did it serve its purpose? Did it do what it needed to do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
And
facts.
Is wrestling out? Is wrestling your ability to escape?
I think some people like the drama. They like to complain about it. They like that. I think low-key wrestling fans like to boo even online. Like they like to really be like all invested in and hate and dispute, and all that shit and debate. And I just one thing, like, I get it because we were that too. Like,
bro, we're in sports too. Like, listen, we're in a group chat right now about Dak and Kurt. Every week, nigga, that's my quarterback. That's my quarterback.
He still ain't better than Kirk Cousins. That's all good. But yeah,
the irrationality of me want me to cut your goddamn head off.
That ass. But that's the beauty of being a fan or something, a fanatic, So I mean, hey man, like, as much as I want to criticize people who criticize, I like now I laugh at some of the things people post. I do feel like if I was me 10 years ago, I would be roasting a lot of these guys when I come on this podcast and trying to fight go debate them like person. But now I look at younger podcasters that do wrestling content, and I'm like, I see myself in them. I see like, people who are thirsting for wrestling debate, and I'm like, wow, that's so cool that like there's legit like younger people coming up in this thing that are just like us, like we used to be, and are thirsty. I just want to talk wrestling.
I just want to talk wrestling.
Yeah, they just want to talk wrestling and debate ideas and talk about it. Because you got to be honest, like especially Black people, we are sometimes isolated from people who are fans of wrestling. Some like me and you, I didn't have anybody to talk wrestling until you came, until like we were roommates. Like I really didn't have somebody on a regular basis that knew enough to debate concepts on what happened on Raw or SmackDown or whatever, and then we had this podcast. But there's a lot of people that were in the Black community that wrestling days, oh yeah, I used to watch that, that's when The Rock was Stone Cold back in the 90s, Suck It, DX, all that shit. That's the last time they watched it. So you can't debate nothing with them. You can't, they don't know what's going on with Kenny Omega and freaking.
You talk about the new day, like all those sissy niggas. I'd be like, whoa, wait a minute. No. That nigga think he played D-line for a D1 school.
Yeah. So yeah, I see that when I look at younger wrestling podcasters, and I'm like, man, I see the passion, and there's so much passion for wrestling fans, and we always want to cultivate that and support that here on the podcast, and we're a part of it. We are that. So,
and again, as Black, again, to circle on that, as Black people, right, we're not a monolith. We're not. Therefore, like the dark, edgy, or preppy, sophisticated, or emo, or whatever you think a Black person may be is, nigga, that ain't who this nigga is next to me.
Exactly. And it's like, it's funny watching it from a distance, seeing people debate on CM Punk. I'm like, what? Like who's right, who's wrong, like, and I'm like, wow, man, this is so crazy. People are spending their time to like, make personal videos against another person to talk about CM Punk. But it's like, I look at it and I'm like, man, this wrestling industry is alive and well, kicking. And So I'm all here for it. I think that the next couple of months, especially going WrestleMania season and all that, it's gonna be interesting. I want to see the evolution of Edge and the evolution of Jade, evolution of Swerve Strickland. This is the last year we're gonna get a Bryan Danielson. Like guys, just soak it up, enjoy it, have fun, because we're here for the ride and here for the journey. Enjoy the journey, because wrestling is not here forever. As much as it's inspirational to see a 49-year-old leave, retire from a neck injury, come back and get that pop, yo, one day, he's not going to be here in wrestling. And so we should be happy we're having him here. Happy we're having,
we got that Royal Rumble we thought was special.
Yeah.
Right? And then you talk about expectations. This goes back, Luke, right? Back to what I was saying. New Day brought a light to wrestling as a black fan, right? Free agency is bringing a light to the boys and the girls and the production and to wrestling as a whole, meaning like I just can't just apply to fucking WWE court and just pray that the niggas hire me. You feel me? Like, no, I can bust my ass on the indies. I can fucking get a roadie. I can be a whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I can get seen, I can get noticed, I can make a living in this business. I would say the light at the end of the tunnel for fans is just like, man, it's all we wish for. This is all we prayed for. This is all we wanted, to go back and forth, to have the variety pack, to have different places we can go, to have the smorgasbord, to have the buffet, to have the charcuterie, whatever the fuck you want. Bro, you got every cheese, every different cracker, every different wine, every different beer. You
enjoy that shit.
Enjoy it.
Also, before we get up out of here, I enjoy seeing the international expanse wrestling, and I want to give a little shout out to Io Shirai and Asuka for that match, first ever Japanese woman versus Japanese woman match in WWE history on SmackDown. And on top of that, we got Shinsuke killing it on Raw with his new gimmick, and I love what he's doing. So like, this is what, like, when you say this is what we asked for, like seeing the blend, and like, yeah, he came from New Japan and all that, like. This is the reality we're living in. Like, one of the biggest stars from New Japan is getting his main event spot right now, and it's awesome. And on top of that, the women's division, 2 top stars in the match are Japanese women killing it, and we're getting a ton of wrestling. You got Ilya Dragunov from Europe coming here with Carmelo Hayes killing it. Gunther, oh my God, yo. So like, the expanse of wrestling, I could never have imagined this when I was younger. And oh yeah, by the way, 2 of the best matches the past week. Luchadors, Dominic Mysterio and Dragon Lee, and then Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio on SmackDown. Killed it. Both of those 2 of the best matches of the week. Dog, they killed it. But so
shout out to told you the Attitude Era back, the race wars, nigga. Who on top? Nigga, shout out to Noah Lyles. Which nationality is the best? You got Irish, you got Sheamus, Finn, Becky. We got Europe with Gunther, Ilya. We got London with Osprey and fucking Rhea Ripley's from Australia out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, so the competition is fierce. You got to literally be one of the best in the world to get the shot now. Like, but we're seeing the best of the world on all these platforms on television every single week. So like just take a moment.
Like legit best
of the world.
In the world.
Of right what they do
in the world, like we have the ability to see that, to test that now.
Yeah, it's amazing the atmosphere right now with wrestling. Shout out to also the Street Profits, and Bobby, them doing their thing. I'm gonna see where that goes. So, and mind you, all this is happening the past couple of weeks. We're talking about all this shit, and Roman hasn't been here. Roman has not been around. We got the Bloodline storyline still going with John Cena solo, and LA Knight now doing the tag match. Huge pop for LA Knight, like he looks like a megastar. So like it's fire right now. So I'm excited. But I gotta get up out of here.
Yes, sir.
I gotta run, pick up my nephew. But all is love. Everything's wrestling. We'll be back here next week. I'm not sure what time and day, but we will be back here next week. I promise you guys, to talk more wrestling in the week that was. Anything else you want to say?
What you say? Say it.
Hey,
Just say
Christian.
say everything. Hey, you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, all right.
All right. He said it. Yep. You heard it first there. Christian guy. You heard it first.
All right, brother. Take it easy, man. I ain't trying to get straight because this nigga trying to be on, man. Everything is wrestling, man. Yeah, we love y'all. We out, man. Peace.